My dear students, welcome to Marbasilio's digital space. Today, I would like to talk about introduction to DAOH, particularly tooth morphology. Myself, Joseph Sebastian. In today's session, I will be discussing trait categories, dental formula, line angle, as well as point angle. First, we will go to trait categories of teeth. We have four types of categories, that is set trait, arch trait, class trait, and type trait. So how we classify this? The thing is, in human dentition, we will be having two sets of teeth. One is called as deciduous dentition. Next one is permanent one. So deciduous is also known as milk teeth. So these two separation or classification can be mentioned as set trait. Next one is arch trait. We are having two arches. One is on upper side and another one is on lower side. Upper arch is also called as maxillary arch. Since the bone maxilla is present on upper arch, we are calling it as maxillary arch. Next one is mandibular arch. Since mandible is in the lower side, we are calling it as mandibular arch. Next one is class trait. In human dentition, if it is deciduous one, we are having three subclass, that is incisors, canine, and molars. If it is a permanent one, we are having four subclass, that is incisors, canine, premolar, as well as molar. So these kind of classifications are called as class trait. Next one is type trait. Here, in the class trait, if you consider incisor, then we will be having two sets of teeth. One is central incisor, second one is lateral incisor. So these two different types are called as type traits. In case of canine, we don't have subclassification. If it is a permanent tooth, we are having premolars. So here we will be having first premolar as well as second premolar as type traits. In case of molars, if it is a deciduous one, we are having first and second molar. If it is a permanent one, we are having first molar, second molar, as well as third molars. So these things together called as trait categories of teeth. Next topic is regarding dental formula. So as I mentioned earlier, in set trait, we are having two sets of teeth. One is deciduous and one is permanent. So dental formula, we are having for deciduous teeth, one formula is evident. For permanent teeth, another set of formula is also evident. So in deciduous teeth, if you consider, we will be having 20 teeth. So in an arch, we will be having two sides, right side as well as left side. If you consider one quadrant, then we will be having two incisors, one canine, as well as two molars. So if you consider an arch, 10 teeth will be there. If you consider half, that is right side along, there also we will be having 10 teeth. So the equation of dental formula of tooth is written as incisors 2 by 2, canine 1 by 1, molars 2 by 2. And it is multiplied by 2. So total number will be 20. This is for deciduous dentition. Regarding permanent dentition, we are having 32 teeth. So if you consider a quadrant, we will be having 8 teeth. If you consider one arch, that is maxillary arch or mandibular arch, then each arch belongs to 16 teeth. If you consider right side alone, there also we will be having 16. So as we mentioned earlier, here we will be having class traits. So four classes will be the incisor, canine, premolar, as well as molars. So based on that, in a quadrant, we will be having two incisors, one canine, two premolars, as well as three molars. So the dental formula for permanent dentition will be incisors 2 by 2, canine 1 by 1, premolars 2 by 2, molars 3 by 3 into 2, altogether into 2. So total number will be 32 in number. This is dental formula. Next one is regarding line angles as well as point angles. So in order to understand that, consider a box which will be having length, width, as well as height. Then we are having these, as you see in this image, you can see there will be junction between these surfaces. If you consider two surfaces, for example, red one as well as green one, then we will be having joining of these two surfaces with the help of a line. If you consider green as well as blue, there also we will be having a junction which is line in nature. So joining of two surfaces with the help of line is called as line angle. Now consider three surfaces. For these, we are considering green, red, blue colors. All these three will be meeting at a particular point. So joining of three surfaces with the help of a point is called as point angle. So in dentistry, our tooth will be having line angles as well as point angles. So joining of two surfaces is called as line angle. Joining of three surfaces is called as point angle. Now we are moving towards our topic. How many line angles will be there for anterior tooth? How many line angles will be there for posterior tooth? That is the first question. So answer is 6 as well as 8. Now we will discuss one by one. So consider incisors, which will be having labial aspect, lingual aspect, mesial aspect, as well as distal aspect. And the incisal area, we will be having incisal ridge. So here we will be considering 6 line angles. That is buccal surface as well as mesial surface will be joining. Then there will be a line. Buccal surface as well as distal surface is joining. Then there will be a line angle. Then lingual surface and mesial surface, there will be a line angle. Lingual surface as well as distal surface, there will be a line angle. Then regarding incisal ridge, from the labial side, we will be having a line angle. Similarly, from lingual side with incisal ridge, there will be also a line angle. So total 6 in number. So how can we write that? Labio-incisal line angle, lingo-incisal line angle, mesiolingual line angle, distolingual line angle, mesiolabial line angle, distolabial line angle. So this is the 6 line angles which is evident on anterior tooth. When it comes to posterior teeth, instead of incisal ridge, we are having occlusal table. So here we will be having occlusal surface. So instead of 6, we are having 8 in number. Consider buccal as well as mesial, buccal as well as distal, buccal as well as occlusal. So 3 is over. Similarly, lingual with mesial, lingual with distal, lingual with occlusal. So that is 3 in number. So totally 6 is over. Now consider distal with occlusal and mesial with occlusal. So like this, we will be having 8 line angles will be there. Now, how we will be writing it? So as you seen on the PowerPoint presentation. You can write it as mesio-occlusal line angle, lingo-occlusal line angle, mesio-lingual line angle, distal-lingual line angle, mesio-buccal line angle, disto-buccal line angle, bucco-occlusal line angle, disto-occlusal line angle. Like that, you can write. So this is regarding line angles, since two surfaces are joining. Now we are moving towards point angle. Here we will be having three surfaces will be joining. So when considering this, there is no difference in terms of anterior or posterior teeth. Both will be having 4 point angles. So what all are the three surfaces will be joining together? That's what we will be discussing. Okay. So if you consider posterior teeth, we will be having buccal side, distal side, as well as occlusal side. Or else buccal side, occlusal side, as well as mesial side. Similarly, mesial, lingual, as well as occlusal. Or else distal, lingual, as well as occlusal. So how can we write it? Mesio-lingo-occlusal point angle, disto-lingo-occlusal point angle, mesio-bucco-occlusal point angle, disto-bucco-occlusal point angle. If you consider anterior tooth, it is almost similar to that of posterior one. Here we will be having mesio-lingo-incisal point angle, mesio-labio-incisal point angle. Similarly, disto-lingo-incisal point angle, disto-labio-incisal point angle. So here these point angles means joining of three surfaces at a point. So totally we will be having 6 and 8 line angles, anterior and posterior, 4 and 4 for anterior and posterior point angles. With this, I am concluding today's session. Thank you.